This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we were discussing about the contract account, how to create the contract account. Now, to create the contract account, we have to do some configurations in Fika, which we have done partly. The most important is basically we have to maintain the number ranges for allocating it to the contract account. Every contract account is identified by a unique number, and that number will come from the number range. So we have defined the number ranges. Then actually contract account is created using a contract account category. So the category is what we defined, and then we assign the number range to the category. So basically the category, there are two types of categories what we use in the system. One is the regular standard ISU contract account category, what we have. That means this is the account category what we use for creating the contract account for a business partner. And we use ultimately this account for creating the invoices. The invoices will be posted using this particular account category. I mean, account created through this category. Another kind of account category is what we use for creating the collective bill accounts. So we saw how the collective bill account also can be used. We will see in the future how to use this particular category as well. So we are going to create initially the contract accounts using the category ISU or the standard contract account category. Whatever accounts we create using this category, we use them for preparing the invoices, or we can post the FICA documents with or without the contract. Then we have maintained the ID for the account determination. Basically, whenever you prepare any FICA document, the account determination will happen. Okay. If you are coming through ISU billing, while preparing billing document itself, there will be account determination. And based on that, when you prepare the invoice and post to FICA, the accounts will be posted. Accounts will not be posted actually. Accounts will be determined in the billing document. And when you prepare the invoice, the information will store what are the accounts to which the various values have to be posted. And this information will be stored in the FICA document. Only contract account will be debited when you actually prepare a FICA document. But in case we are posting directly to the FICA, then it will determine what are the GL accounts. So there are two types of accounts what we'll be determining. One is the reconciliation account, recon account, and then others are revenue accounts. So these accounts are determined by using a criteria, and one of the important criteria what we use is ID for account determination. For example, you may say some of our accounts belong to the individual consumers, or some of the accounts what we have, they belong to commercial consumers, or maybe they belong to industrial consumers. So based on that, we set up the ID, and we combine that ID with the division. With and without division, we have set up the parameters. With the division means you are having a contract. In ISU, contract will be there. For the contract billing and invoicing, the accounts can be determined. But if you are directly posting to FICA without the contract, only the company code and the ID for the account determination is good enough. Okay. So this part we have done. Now we have to see what are the other data we have to maintain. Now in the contract account when you create, we also have to maintain one important data, that is the payment term. Basically payment term means if I post an invoice for the contract account, immediately the system will debit the open items to contract account. The receivables are generated in the account balance for the contract account. But when is these amounts due? So if I post an invoice today, when the amount is due? The amount due will be determined based on the terms of payment, what we are maintaining. So whenever you prepare a contract account, it is mandatory that you have to maintain the terms of payment. But actually terms of payment require some configurations in FICA, because Traditionally, terms of payment we maintain in customer master, vendor master in case of standard SAP. But here we are not creating any customer master directly. We are creating actually a business partner and then the contract account. Okay. So if you there's no provision to directly maintain the payment terms in FICA because ultimately when you post to financial accounting, the payment terms are required. How the payment terms should be processed from the accounting perspective. So that has to be done only from the customer or the vendor perspective. So what we do here is first we maintain as usual in the financial accounting the payment terms. Once you define these payment terms in the financial accounting, actually they'll be configured like what is the baseline date, are you allowing any cash discount. So all the general configuration for the the payment term will be defined. After that what we do, we go and create a payment condition in the FICA, and in the payment condition we assign the actual payment term what we defined in financial accounting. Okay, and that payment condition will be actually maintained in the contract account. So what we ultimately maintain in the contract account is basically has got a link with the payment term what we define in financial accounting. Okay, so that is the basic understanding what we can see here. So first we will define as usual payment term in financial accounting, and then we'll go and define the payment condition in FICA, and then we will link the payment condition with the payment term what we defined in the financial accounting. Okay, so let's go to IMG. There's one difference between the standard payment term what you use in regular SAP and FICA. In the regular SAP, in a payment term for a customer, you can also give two-level cash discount. Okay, like suppose say for example we say we posted a amount of 5,000 rupees and the payment term is immediately. Okay, the customer has to make the payment immediately. That means if I post the invoice today 18/11/2019, the amount is due already. Okay, so naturally customer has to pay respectively from today itself. Today itself the amount is due because we are posting the invoice straight away. Okay, but suppose if you have a payment term saying you can make the payment on or before 30 days. Okay, that means from 18 to next month 18th, that means 18/12/2019, it is a due date. Okay, that means amount becomes due by 18th. Okay, you can make the payment on or before 18th, but 18th you have to make the payment. Okay, but if you make the payment early within 15 days or something, we give 3% cash discount. Okay, so we are saying here if you make the payment within 15 days from the date of invoice, we give you 3% cash discount. But suppose you got amount 5,000, the consumer can make the payment within 45 days. Okay, then we say on or before 15 days, if you make a payment 3%, and if you make payment on or before 30 days, that means from 16 to 30 days, we can give 2% cash discount. So it is possible in the regular financial accounting, we can provide two levels of cash discount if required. But over here in FICA, we can have only one level of the what do you call the cash discount. We cannot have two levels. That's a difference between payment terms what used in standard SAP and also here in the FICA. So first we'll go to define the payment terms. Financial accounting new, accounts receivable and accounts payable, and then business transactions, and then incoming invoices and credit memos, maintain terms of payment. We can define two types of terms of payment. The terms of payment applicable to customers, terms of payment applicable to vendors. Okay, or you can also say the payment term is applicable to both customers as well as vendors, which means we can maintain that in customer master records, also in vendor master records. Okay, or while creating the payment terms, we can say exclusively they are applicable to only customers or the vendors. Okay, so here for example 0001 is the payment term, which is basically pay immediately. We will select it and then copy. and we will say 5,000 is the payment term. Pay immediately without any deduction. Okay, no cash discount. And posting date, when the amount will be due from the date of posting. Document date, posting date. So basically, if I post the FICA document today, the amount becomes applicable immediately. Okay, it is as applicable to customers and vendors, but if you say it is applicable to customers only, then we can remove this, continue, and then save it. So 5,000 is one payment term, what we have defined. Again, we go to maintain terms of payment, 0002. We will copy this. It is saying 14 days, 2% cash discount, but 30 net. Okay, what it says, you are posting here, you given document date. The date you prepare document date, the payment term will start. Posting date may be same day or next day. But what we are saying, the customers can get a cash discount of 2% if the payment happens on or before 14th day. Okay. Otherwise, if you pass that period, you have to pay the full amount. There is no cash discount. And this 30th will be the due date. Okay. This due date is important in future from the dunning perspective. Okay. So whenever the dunning happens, it will do the dunning for only the items which are overdue. Okay. If customer doesn't make the payment even after 30 days, then that open item will become dunnable. Okay. Then dunning level will happen and dunning activities will happen. So from that perspective, the due date is important. Okay. So here what we are saying, our payment terms are basically 14 days cash discount, 30 days amount has to be paid. Applicable to customers, continue, and here we make it as 5,001. Okay. Enter, continue, and then save it. Okay. So we define two payment terms here, 5,000 and 5,001. After defining the terms of payment in financial accounting, we will now go to contract accounts receivable and payable, and then select the basic functions, postings and documents, document, maintain payment terms. Okay, that means here we are going to integrate the payment terms what we defined in financial accounting with the payment condition what we define in FICA, because we are not directly posting the accounting document in the case of ISU, in the FICA. We actually post first to FICA, then later on you are transferring the data to financial accounting. So the moment you post the FICA document, the contract account will be posted. It will be debited. Okay. So the payment terms have to start immediately. The due date has to start immediately. Okay. So that's the reason we define here something called a payment condition. That payment condition we are going to maintain in the contract account. When you prepare the contract account master, what is a payment term? Okay, so we define that payment term here. So select the maintain payment term, new entry. So it's actually called payment condition. So we are saying 5,000 immediate from date of posting, and then assign here the terms of payment as 5,000. If required, you can also enter the factory calendar. As per the factory calendar, suppose we come to know the due date happens to be on a weekend or a holiday. Okay, weekend and holidays are determined from the factory calendar. Okay, if you integrate with the factory calendar, then what it will do, it will check what is the due date actually. If suppose due date happens to be weekend or a public holiday, then we can correct it. So you can assign one factory calendar 01, correct the non-working day. Either you can say use a working day following the non-working day, or use a working day prior. So if suppose 28th is amount due, but 28th is holiday, if you maintain one, use the working day following non-working day. 28th is holiday, so 29th the amount will become due, or one day prior, 27th. Okay, so depending on that, correction will happen, and then save it. So we have assigned the payment condition to the payment term, what we defined in financial accounting. Similarly, new entry 5,001, 30 days due, 2% for 14 days. That means if the customer makes a payment on or before 14 days, we are giving 2% discount. So 5,001 is the payment condition, payment terms, and then here we will say 1 and then save it. So like this, first you define the payment terms in the financial accounting, then you define a payment condition and then integrate that payment term with the account, data, and then save it. So now come back. So we have defined two payment terms here. We will use them in the future and see how the amounts are posted. Now we have defined a payment condition, which is one of the important data. Then in the contract account, we also have to maintain one more important information called the tolerance group. Okay. Tolerance group is mandatory in the contract account. Without the tolerance group, we cannot actually post any open item into contract account. Same is the case with also customer master. Okay. If you prepare any customer account and then maintain, company code data XT01, we have to maintain the tolerance group. Without a tolerance group, the payment entry cannot happen. Okay. But here, in the case of contract account, it is mandatory, without which you cannot even post a open item. Okay. So let's go to open item management. And then here we have got the tolerance group, maintain tolerance group. Okay. But whatever tolerance group you define here, the effect will happen only if you integrate that with the clearing strategy. Okay. We'll be working later on something called clearing category. There we'll be defining clearing category, clearing variant. Okay. And then you'll be maintaining specification for the clearing type. When you are maintaining specification for the clearing type, in whatever steps you are using in the clearing types, there you have to enter the tolerance group. Okay. That means while clearing, tolerance group can be taken into consideration while clearing the open item. So only by maintaining tolerance group, it will not work. It has to be integrated with the clearing steps in the specification for the clearing type. Basically, what is the purpose of tolerance group, how it will work? Let me explain. Let's say, for example, we have got a contract account 100. We have posted a invoice amount as 2 lakh. Okay, 2 lakh. Now, customer makes a payment. Suppose they make a payment of 1,50,000. Okay. So here what happens? We are doing partial clearing. The amount due is 2 lakh, but customer is paying. Account holder is making a payment of 1,50,000. So it will only partially clear 1,50,000 and then keep another 50,000 again open for the payment. Okay. So balance 50,000 is open. Okay. Now similarly, out of 50,000, suppose customer makes a payment of 45,000 rupees. Okay. Then again 5,000 is kept open. Okay. That means whatever the difference unpaid, it will be open actually. Okay. Tomorrow, technically, we will say out of 5,000, customer made a payment of 4,999. Okay. Then 1 rupee still kept open. Okay. Let's say customer also is having their own account balances. Sometimes, their amounts may not exactly tell with our amounts because they will think they are paid the check, the cash. So maybe they would have made mistake, or maybe we have not adjusted postings correctly, made an entry error or something. So there may be some balance, which is coming. Okay. So according to them, they have to pay only 4,990 rupees. Okay. So which means 5,000 is open item, but customer has sent a check for 4,990, 10 rupees is kept open. Okay. Now, if suppose there are large amounts we are receiving, okay, in terms of lakhs, 10 lakhs or 5 lakhs, okay, then if there is a difference of 5 rupees or 10 rupees, then what we would like to do? We would not like to keep them as open, rather clear full. Okay. So here actually 5,000 is due, but customer is paying only 4,990. Now, if you maintain 10 rupees is if the difference is equal to or less than 10 rupees, then we'll clear the whole amount 5,000 without again keeping an open item for 10 rupees. Okay. So let's say customer paid by mistake. I'm 4,995. Okay. Our tolerance is 10 rupees. So it will not keep another 5 rupees open. It would rather clear the 5,000 as it is. Okay. So this may be applicable for the overpayment or underpayment. Okay. So in that case, the tolerance group will apply. But suppose you maintain the tolerance group and directly go for incoming payment entry, it will not happen. We have to integrate in the clearing category, then only it will work. Okay. So we will define the tolerance group here, but later we will integrate that information in the clearing category when you define. Okay. So let us define one tolerance group. So go to maintain tolerance group and let us say new entry. Tolerance group is 5,000 individual or residential contract accounts. You can have different tolerance group for the residential and non-residential. Residential contract accounts. Currency INR. Revenue will give 5 rupees. Expense also 5 rupees. But here you have to maintain 99.9%. Okay. You have to maintain maximum percentage is 99.9%, but you are limiting it to 5 rupees, and revenue also 99.9%, limiting it to 5. Otherwise, you have to give here, some large amount and then give the percentage as 0.5% or 0.2%. Okay. That means we have to maintain either a very high value in expense and revenue and limit it by percentage, or give the actual tolerances what you want to do with the percentage up to 99.9%. Okay. For underpayment and overpayment, and then save it. Okay. Expenses means revenue means we are getting payment. Expenses means we are writing it off. Okay. It is an expense. Suppose customer has to pay 5 rupees actually more, but we are writing it off. That is a kind of an expense what you are debiting. Revenue means basically overpayment, where customer has made a payment, we are writing it off. Okay. So that is how we understand the tolerance group. But here, merely maintaining this will not affect the clearing. Only when you integrate with the clearing step, it will work. So in future, we will do the testing when you prepare the clearing category, clearing variant, and clearing steps. There we will introduce the tolerance group also in the clearing. That time you can test how the clearing will happen. Now we will save it. Okay. So this tolerance group we are going to maintain in our contract account when you create. Okay. So this is a tolerance group what we have defined. Now clearing category also is required in the contract account. Okay. We have to configure a contract account clearing category, which we will do later. Okay. So right now we can use one of the clearing category what is defined, like for example 0001, this standard one. These are all configured clearing category. We have configured the clearing category for different company codes. Like that, we will also configure our own in future. Okay, in the clearing will come into picture. So 0001 we can use. Also, when you prepare the contract account, you have to maintain dunning procedure. Okay, dunning is also equally important. We will be configuring later on the dunning procedure, dunning levels, and dunning activity. So we will select one of the dunning procedure what is available here as a standard. So dunning procedure, configure dunning procedure. You got one procedure as 01, which we will maintain in our contract account. But we'll be working again on our own dunning procedures in the future. Dunning procedure will contain the dunning levels, and for dunning level we will have the dunning activity. Okay. So all this will do step-by-step configuration later. So clearing category and dunning procedure, we will use standard what is available. Payment condition you have defined, ID for account determination you have defined, and also tolerance group. Okay. Now there is one more important information that we have to maintain from the perspective of ISU. If you are maintaining contract account for telecom or insurance, it may not be applicable, but that field becomes applicable in the case of ISU. Because our working environment is ISU, we have to maintain some value for that, and that is basically called budget billing procedure indicator. What is a budget billing procedure you are using for the contract account? So in the contract account master record, in the basic data screen, you will have one field called budget billing procedure. budget billing procedure. Now, what is this budget billing procedure? In case of ISU, when you're working in utility system, there are basically two types of invoices what to create. Okay, one is the invoice created with respect to a billing document. Suppose you are doing periodic consumption billing, which means every month on a scheduled day to do the meter reading, you create a meter reading order, collect the meter reading results from the field, enter it in the system, it will do the validation, then it will go for billing and then invoicing and then posting it to FICA document. That means actually we are measuring the consumption for the particular period and then entering that information. We are actually billing and invoicing for the actual consumption. Okay. Let's say this month customer consumed 500 kilowatt hour, 10 rupees per kilowatt hour. So 5,000 rupees is the value they have to pay plus tax, 10% tax. So totally they have to pay 5,500. Next month when you do the meter reading, it has come to 600 kilowatt hour into 10 rupees. So 6,000 is the net value plus 10% tax, 600. So the amount is 6,600. So every month it is either, every month you are calculating actually as per the consumption. Maybe in 1 month it has come to consumption only 400 kilowatt hour or 350, okay? Or some month it has come 700 kilowatt hour. Actually what they are consuming, we are doing the meter reading, billing and invoicing. This is a standard method used all over the world, okay? But there are some countries like North America, most of the European countries, okay, where they also provide one more facility to contract account holders, which is called budget billing, okay. In case of budget billing, we'll have the budget billing periods, okay. It can be monthly budget billing, bi-monthly, once in 2 months, once in 3 months, okay. So here what to do, during the period when the budget billing is running, the consumer will not be doing the meter reading. Suppose, for example, December 2018, we have done the meter reading, billing, invoicing. From January 2019, the budget billing will start. Okay. That means before the budget billing is starting, we have to compulsorily do the meter reading and billing. Okay. We have done in December 2018 the actual meter reading, billing, invoicing, but customer has agreed for budget billing. So the budget billing period will start from January 2019 and it is a monthly budget billing. That means every month you are going to prepare invoice. So this will happen till 2019 November. Okay. During this particular period of time, every month we don't do any meter reading, billing and invoicing. We directly prepare an invoice for a fixed amount. Let us say at the rate of 7,000 rupees. Okay. That amount will be determined in the budget billing plan. System will prepare a plan. It will say these developments we are not going to do any meter reading. We have got a plan based on the historical consumption and some estimation. You'll be paying equal amounts over 11 months and that amount is 7,000 rupees. And we fix a date here, okay? By 25th, we'll prepare the invoice, so the amount will become due. So the consumer knows well in advance that every month starting from January to November, they have to pay 7,000 rupees, okay? So they don't have to wait for the metering to happen, billing to happen. They can make the arrangements for the payment, so they can budget their expense, okay? And they can also integrate this information in their banking system, like Biller Direct or bank transfer. They can open the account information in the bank and then tell the bank, the utility service company will send the invoice every month for 7,000 rupees. That can be either paid directly by deducting the amount in the by account balance, or let the utility company send the invoice and then I will clear the instruction for making the payment. Okay. Either way, the bank will come into the picture. Even customer also can pay by cash also. But the idea is that you are reducing the cost of meter reading and funds flow planning will become easier. Okay. So this is called basically budget billing. Budget billing means we budget what amount they have to pay for equal months over next 1 year. It may be monthly, bi-monthly, once in 3 months, like that. Okay. So this is what is called budget billing, an alternative to standard consumption billing. But in budget billing itself, there are different methods of doing budget billing, okay, which is called budget billing procedure. We have got partial budget billing, statistical budget billing, payment plan, okay. So all these are basically called procedure. So these are indicated with the indicator. 0 means no budget billing, 1 means statistical budget billing, 2 means partial budget billing, 3 means payment plan. So what we have to do, if the company is allowing, in any case, no budget billing is always there, but it is allowing all the 3 methods of budget billing, then you have to assign this information as a string 0, 1, 2, 3 to our company code group. Okay. If you remember, in the initial day, we defined a company code group. Okay. And assigned the company code to company code group. So we have to assign the company code group to the string of the budget billing. So when you create a contract account, there it will tell which option you want to use. Suppose if you're not using budget billing, 0. If you want to use statistical, then 1. Partial means 2. Payment plan means 3. Okay. So this field is mandatory. Okay. We have to maintain. So we will assign that string to the company code group. So we go to SAP Utilities, Invoicing, and here we are going to select the budget billing plan, and then basic settings. Define the budget billing procedures. Select here. Enter the company code group. Our company code group is 555. Our company code group is 555. Enter. And our budget billing procedure is 0, 1, 2, 3. And then assign it. So we have assigned the company code group to the procedure. Okay. So basically our company code is 555. We have assigned it to the company code group as individual company code. So if you go to organize unit, assign the company code groups to company code group. 55 is the group. Okay. Under this, we have assigned the company code as 555. Sometimes it may be more than one company code. Let's say 551, 552, 553. So under those company codes, we can post a contract account and we can select the option of what you call the budget billing. Okay. So these are the settings what we have to do in the system so that we will be in a position to create the contract account. Okay. So let's say we are ready with this basic configuration data. Now we will see how to create a contract account. So for creating contract account, what to require? First, we must create a business partner in the role of contract partner. That is a prerequisite. Okay. Unless you maintain a business partner with the role as the MKK, we cannot prepare the contract account. Okay. So we already created the business partner, but as a continuity, we will create one new business partner. And then for that business partner, we want to maintain the contract account. Now here there is a flexibility. For one business partner, we can have definitely one contract account, but if required, we can also give more than one contract account. Okay, that flexibility is there. So we go to business master data and then business partner and then select the contract partner, FPP1 create. Okay, we can create business partner as a person or an organization. Select person and then here we'll give the title, name, we'll give it as now we can use the street and house number. We defined Chennai Road, that is city Mumbai, and the house number is 78. Now address overview, identification. We have to give one identification number, let's say Aadhaar card. And then control, give one BP type, let's say 0001. And then payment terms, we'll give the bank details. That means basically we are assigning here the bank information of the business partner. Okay, that means business partner will provide in which particular bank they are having the account. Although this is not necessary, but it will be necessary in future when you're going to use payment method like biller direct or bank transfer. Without the information about the bank, we cannot provide the bank transfer. So we will say country India, and the bank key is, let us say, ICI 679. And then we will enter the bank account. Okay, bank account is some number, you give it and then save it. So we have created one business partner here, and the partner is 226 what we have created. Okay, now this business partner we prepared in the category that is basically contract partner. If the partner is created as a contract account partner, then only you can create the contract account. Okay, so 226 is our business partner. Now for 226 we'll prepare the contract account. Okay, so 226 is the BP. Now in future, if you keep around 5 to 10 business partners, it is enough. Okay, for the practice purpose or doing all the scenario, technically speaking, even one business partner multiple contract account is also okay, but we will say we will have around 5 to 6 or some business partners, and for all of them we will maintain the one or many contract accounts, so we can use them for the different scenario. So after creating the contract partner, we go to create a contract account using the FICA. So here we are selecting CA1, create the contract account. So for creating contract account, business partner is mandatory, but because we are in session, it is taking the number as 226. That is the number what we created. And then contract account category. We have configured one contract account category as 50. That is the standard contract account category. We will select. Now in future, what you can do, once you create it for 50, one of the contract account, you can use it as a reference. Suppose you are going to create another contract account with the same category, then you don't have to enter each and every field value. It will automatically copy from the reference contract account. Since we have not created here any account so far with this category, we cannot enter the reference. We cannot enter the reference of a contract account defined for another category. Okay, although there are so many contract accounts available here, we cannot use them as a reference because they have been defined for some other category, so we cannot copy. Okay, so enter. So basically in the contract account, we have 3 levels of data: general data, payment and taxes, dunning and correspondence. Okay, now some fields are required to be entered, mandatory. Some fields are not required to be entered, mandatory. Or you can say you can have a field status. Field status means that is a general feature in SAP in almost all the master data. Usually in master data, what happens? You have various screens and fields. SAP has given arrangement in such a way it is applicable to all the companies worldwide. But in certain scenario or certain companies, some information may be more relevant. They would like to maintain. In some companies, it may not be necessary. Okay. So in general, you can say whether field should be seen on the screen, but it is optional. You may enter, may not enter. Okay. But you can also declare a field as mandatory. That means from the functional point of view, the value should be maintained in the contract account. Otherwise, tomorrow it may affect the functionality of the contract account. Okay. So either you can say field is optional or field is mandatory, or you don't want to use that field, it is not required for us, then you can suppress it. If you suppress it, then what would happen? The field will disappear from the screen. Although field is there in the database table, it is not available for maintenance. You can also give a status to the field as display mode. Okay. Display mode is only possible suppose if the field is appearing in more than one screen. Okay. Same field is appearing in, let's say, general data and also in dunning and correspondence. In that case, you maintain the value in one screen. In another screen, you cannot edit it. It will be showing as display mode. Okay, that's how basically you can understand functionality. If you want to do the controlling of that, then you can do it in the system configuration, the field status. So if you go to IMG and then select the financial accounting new, and in financial accounting new, we are selecting contract accounts receivable and payable. And then here we are selecting the basic functions, contract accounts, and then here field modifications. Configure field attributes for the contract account category. So we can select here. Depending on the category, we can control. Let's say, for example, 50. That is what we have created, standard account category. Select the field grouping. So field grouping we can control here. I mean, here it is not giving screen wise. It is just giving alphabetically. Okay. What are the fields available all put together in the contract account? It is showing here. For example, contract account number in the legacy system. Okay. That is the first field what we see here. Contract account name in the legacy system. Okay. That is a field here. Now, do you want to see this field? Then, but you don't want to enter, then optional entry. By default, system will keep it as not specified. Okay, not specified means it is as good as it is available for entry, but you can make it as optional entry. That means optional entry, field available for entry are one and the same actually. Not specified means any of these can happen. Okay, we'll say optional entry. Account type is also optional entry. Now, if you don't want to see this field, then you can hide it. Hide means it will not be shown. Okay, that means on the screen it won't be visible. Suppose if I save it here, then if you try to create a contract account, it will not be visible anymore. So if I again go to create and then select here, now contract account name and legacy, create with the 50, it is still showing. Let me check. So we have to save it actually. Field grouping, hide, save it. Data already saved. Configure field activity per activity. Create. So here we are creating. So actually this will apply. So we will say hide. Okay. Based on the creativity, based on the activity what you're doing, we're saying hide. In general, it will applicable. But actually for 50 also it should have worked. Let me check it once. Now let's try to create 50. Contract account name and legacy is still showing. Let me go to once again. Financial accounting new, contract accounts receivable and payable, the basic functions, contract accounts, field modifications, configure field attributes for contract account category. So 50 is basically our category, field grouping, account number in the legacy is hide. So some fields may not be allowed to suppress. Even though I'm maintaining here the hide, it is still keeping it as optional. Maybe some fields are, having some program so that, it will not allow us to hide it. Even though I'm saying it hide, it is saying optional entry here. Okay. But suppose if I say account name, if we say hide and then continue, it is not still taking hide. Okay. It's not making it as optional entry. It is not making account type. or if I say bank details for incoming ID, business place, let's say business place. Let's remove this field grouping 50. Now we restore everything to original, so not specified. So suppose if you go to business place, hide, not specified is removed and it's going to hide, save it. So if I go to create a contact account, CAA1, just I'm trying to do testing why it is not coming. No, here actually business place will come. That is now hidden actually. Okay. So here actually a business place will come. If you have, suppressed it, it will show business place will not be shown here. It's not shown now here. Okay. So we will open it and then see when you actually create, will it show? Okay. Right now it is hidden. We will open. But some fields are not taking that indicator. Maybe they have some kind of lock, coding or something. So business place, I'm making it now as optional entry. That means it should show in the contact account and then save it. Okay. That means there's a possibility to control the field groupings accordingly how we want to see. Okay. Either you can maintain it for the contact account category or you can maintain it as per the activity. If you maintain it as per the activity, it will apply to all the contact account category. That means if you create a business contact account, whatever may be the account category, then it will apply. Okay. But here account number actually you're seeing hide here, but it's still showing, it is not hiding actually. So I'm just wondering why it is not. Let us see. Because earlier we used to have this done easily. So let me go to contact account and then create 226 create. Okay. So it is still showing. I will check it out. So what is this contact account name and account in legacy? Now what happens is prior to implementing SAP, ISU and the FICA, let's assume the particular company which has implemented, they were using some other ERP, okay, and some other software they were using. And in that software, they are already maintained the complete data of their existing business partners and the contact accounts. Okay. Although their database is completely different than ours because you're using in ISU a particular database table formats, and each and every data definition is done in our system as per the ABAP. Okay. But the existing data is available in the customers, another database from where they will give the information to us so that whenever you are going to create the contact account initially in the system, moving from legacy system to new system, we can link our new contact account number with the old one. Okay. So that in the data transfer it will become helpful. Existing open items can be transferred or any such data. Sometimes what happens in the initial days, they may use both the system for 1 month or 1.5 months or 2 months. Even though you are implemented SAP, ISU and FICA, they may continue to post in both. Okay. So they may post in the contact account what you create here, also in their existing system. And also for the consumer, what happens whenever they call, they may not be fully conversant with the new number what we have given. Okay. So they might be referring their old number and making a contact with us. So based on this number, we will be able to trace what is the actual contract account we're using in the new system. Okay. So from that perspective, we can say the contract account name and account in legacy, we can give the information. Okay. Now account relationship is account holder. Actually, you can define more than one account relationship. Basically, what is the meaning? When you prepare a contract account and maintain the account for a business partner, the business partner becomes the account holder. That means the account is actually in that particular business partner's, he is holding that account. Okay. Now, one contract account can be assigned to one business partner in theory. That means one contract account we are actually creating for a one business partner. But also it is possible in the system, you can assign one contract account to more than one business partner. Okay. In that case, what happens? We have to give relationship. Okay. Let's say we are assigning one contract account to more than one business partner, then all the other partners cannot become the account holder. Out of the three business partners having the same account, only one of them will be account holder, other two will be having some relationship. Okay. Usually when this is required, suppose we are preparing an invoice for a premise where three partners are staying. So one of the partners staying in the home is having the account holder, other two are sharing the premise. Okay. Now in that case, online payment when they are doing, each of the business partner can find out what is the open item. If they enter their BP number, it will show the open item. Okay. That means any one of them clear the payment for the open items, but all the three are not holding the account. Only one of the account holder will be having. Tomorrow legally, the payment has been paid by the main account holder to whom the account has been created. So if you want, you can also create the account relationship. These account relationships you have to maintain in the configuration. Okay. So if you go to here, you can see in the configuration, the configuration what you can do. So let me go to again FICA. In future, I'll show you an example how to create more than one contract account for a business partner. So go to financial accounting, new contract account receivable and payable, basic functions, postings and documents, contract account, and then contract account relationship. Okay, define the contract account business partner relationships. Okay, how the account is related to a business partner. Now you may define more than one relationship. Okay, in that case, only one of the account relationship has to be made as account holder. Okay, you cannot have more than one account relationship as account holder. Okay, so select new entry. Account relationship is 2. Okay, let's say tenant 1. If you make an account holder, then if you make tenant 1 as account holder, then if suppose you create a business partner, if you maintain account to the tenant holder 1, you cannot have another business partner assigned with the same contract account as account holder. It has to be different relationship. That means in the contract account, only one business partner can have the position of account holder. So we leave it as 01 only and then save it. We can also have like that new entry 03, tenant number 3. So like that, you can have more than one business partner. Different relationship description we can give it. Just I'm giving one example here. Okay. Later on, we'll see how to maintain the contract account to more than one business partner if required. But it will not allow us to maintain all the three as account holders, only one of them. Okay, we can check it. So this is as far as the account relationship is concerned. Okay, now we enter the tolerance group, that is 5,000. Then we have to enter the clearing category. Okay, clearing category is mandatory. So here we'll use the standard offsetting. Now clearing category we are going to configure in future in detail. Based on the clearing category, we come to know clearing variant, and for each clearing variant, we maintain clearing steps for various clearing reasons. Okay, there are various clearing reasons like incoming payment entry, again automatic clearing, or payment clearing through payment lot, or payment clearing through check lot. So different methods of incoming payment will be available, or payment methods. For each one of them, we are going to maintain the clearing. Okay. Basically, what is clearing category in principle? If you configure clearing category and clearing strategy, the system will automatically find out which open items it has to select. Okay. Suppose there is a contract account 100, there are 5 open items. Okay. FICA document 136, 2000 rupees due on some date, and 234 is another FICA document, 3000. Okay. And then 334 is another FICA document with 1500 rupees, and another one is, let's say, 200 is a FICA document with the amount of 2000 rupees. Okay. That means total amount due is 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 1, 6, 5, 8, 5. Okay. Now customer makes a payment of 6000 rupees. Okay. Now if you enter the 6000 rupees and go for the online payment, okay, so what it will do, it will automatically select the open item which can be cleared. Okay. Because of the clearing strategy, it will automatically clear the open item. We don't have to select any open items for clearing. Out of 6000, it may say it is going to clear 2000 minus 2000, then minus 1500, minus 1500. So basically 35, and then balance is 25. It is clearing 25 here. So the remaining open items will be 2000 rupees and 500 rupees. Okay. So we don't have to do any manual, selection of open items. It will make a proposal what items can be cleared. Okay. But this is happening as per a strategy. That strategy, what we are defining through clearing category. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't maintain clearing category with the clearing variant and clearing steps, every time you enter incoming payment, you have to go to selection, select the items what you want to clear. But that should not be okay. Why? Because many times what happens, we may not enter a single payment entry. Although technically for one contract account, I can enter a payment like in cash desk, but many times you go for the payment lot. At a time, you enter thousands of payments into the system in a day. Okay. In that time, the clearing has to happen in the background. Okay. So if you maintain the clearing category, then system will accordingly post the automatically select the clearing items, open items, and then clear. Okay. That's the reason clearing category is very important. Now here we are maintaining clearing category. Now you can also maintain an interest key here. Okay. The interest key is basically responsible for different reasons. You may have to calculate the interest. Okay. One is a security deposit. Suppose if you have a security deposit from the contract account, it is supposed to attract some interest over a period of time. But in the case of security deposit itself, when you create, we enter the interest key. For the security deposit, interest key will be entered in the security deposit itself. Okay. But tomorrow, suppose you are having some open items, and after 6 months, you find there are some open items which are not been paid. Okay. I mean, over a period of time, there are some open items. Every 6 months, we take some overdue items, and if they are not been paid already, we calculate the interest. Okay. That interest calculation will happen based on the interest key. Or suppose if you have got some installment items, we had one total item, 5 lakh, we divided into installment of 12 equal amounts. Okay. Now, every time it becomes the overdue, we will calculate the interest. So normally in the invoice, what you say, if the payments are not made in time, due date, we will calculate the interest on the open item and debit to your account. That means if you have to pay 5000 rupees and you're not paid by so and so date, from that day onward, it will attract the interest of 10% annual. Okay. Then pro rata, it will calculate for the number of days, where it has not been due. So you keep on debiting every month. You can do interest calculation mass processing, and then it will keep debiting. That means your debit postings will increase to the contract account. Instead of paying 5000 rupees open item, you have to pay some interest amount as well. Okay. So interest key can be maintained for calculating the interest amounts on the open items or dunning charges. Okay. In all these cases, we define the interest key. So interest key we have to configure again, just like clearing category you have to configure. We will enter here. And then payment terms. Payment terms are mandatory. we have to enter. We have created our own payment terms as 5,000. Then currency in which you are going to post FICA document, it is INR. Although there are some fields which will not be necessarily required now, we will start using them in future. I will touch upon those fields also, why they are required. We are trying to now maintain the most mandatory or relevant fields, okay? But we'll also see other fields, how they will come into picture. So on the main screen, we are entering account relationship, tolerance group, clearing category, interest key, we are not configured, and it is not mandatory at the moment, okay? So we will configure it as well in the future, and then we will provide it, okay? Currency is important, payment terms is important, and ID for the account determination. We have defined two ID, one for the household, one for the commercial, and one for the industrial. Using this ID, system will do in the future account determination. We are going to set up the account determination based on combination of the company code and the ID, okay? Now, here we have to maintain one bill form, okay? Bill form means, suppose if you create a ISU invoice, then that invoice has to be printed and send it to customer, okay? That means the moment you prepare invoice, you print it and you send it to customer. Either you print it and send it, or you can send it as an iDoc, but in what format you are preparing the invoice, okay? So usually invoice is as per the customer business format, okay? Like if you take any of the invoice now, if I go to a predefined format is used here. So if I go to invoicing and then execute invoicing, display print document. Invoices in ISU are called print documents. So if I use the contract account for one of the contract account for the company code group, let us say 1000-1401 and take it. So there are some invoices created for this particular contract account, okay? We'll select one of the invoice for checking the layout. This is the invoice number 151 print format, okay? So now it will display how the invoice will look to customer. This is what we print and send it to customer. So this invoice has got a format, okay? This may not be same for each and every company. This is only a specimen, okay? So this particular format is defined in the system as a bill form. A bill form is a development object, and all the such bill forms or basically forms for communication are designed using a print workbench. In SAP ISU, they have given a print workbench, which is basically enabling us to develop the various forms, okay? So later we'll be also working with the correspondence. There's a FICA settings are there for the correspondence. In that case, we'll also declare the form of application. So if we go to the contract account receivable payable basic functions, and in basic functions, we can see correspondence. Here the correspondence, and then define the correspondent type, and then define the charge type for correspondence, configure correspond variants. So if you go to define correspondence types, correspondence type means for each of the correspondence we are having some data available, okay? Like if you're doing welcome letter in the move-in, okay, payment notice, cash receipt, okay, or invoice preparation, okay. For all of them, there are some settings, okay, so that we will see in the future. So basically, we're integrating the above development form with the contract account. So in the contract account, you have to maintain the bill form. Here we've got a standard bill form available, already configured, developed by system, that is ISU underscore bill, okay. These are all sample or specimens what are available, but in the actual project, they'll be designed by the ABAPer, okay. How the layout should look like, that we'll give. And if the contract account is assigned to collective bill account, we will enter the collective bill account here. So collective bill account, we will see in the future. So this is the information what you initially have to maintain. We will also try to understand what are the other fields, planning group, and then business area, okay. Debitor BB required, okay. BB procedure I will enter now. Now go to payment and taxes, okay. In payment taxes, first you have to enter the company code group. we will select the company code group as 555. Okay. What it means, tomorrow, suppose in this company code group, there are 5 company codes: 5000, 55551, 5552, 5553. Okay. Which means tomorrow we can enter invoice in any company code. We can post the open items in any company code. Basically, you can post a FICA document for this contract account in any company code, which is assigned to this particular company code group. Now, among the company code groups, among the company codes what we have assigned, you can assign one of the company code as a standard company code. This is for on account payment. Okay. This provision was not there earlier. From ECC 5 it has come. Out of the more than one company code what we have in the company code group, one of the company code can be defined as a standard company code. What is the standard company code? F1. Company code that is used for posting where no other company code can be determined uniquely. Okay. For example, payments on account can be posted in this company code. Following determination logic appears. If a company code can be determined on the basis of the data payment advice, the system checks whether the setting in payment on account standard company code was defined. In this case, the system switches to standard company code. If no other data is available, standard company code is selected. Sometimes while making the payment entry or clearing, we may not have an exact idea in which company code the clearing has to happen. Okay. So we have to enter the incoming payment. So there what will happen, it will select the on account payment. Okay. You have to configure the on account payment configuration. We will be doing that. Okay. So initially it will post to on account. Then it will determine in which company code the amount has to be cleared. Then the internal transfer will happen. Okay. Or if you enter, say, in any company code the payment, if the amount is found not due for that company code, it will internally switch over to another company code. Okay. But suppose if the company code cannot be determined, then it will post to on account payment. Okay. So you have to nominate one of the company code. We will enter 555. Okay. Anyway, you have got only one company code. So we are entering here as a on account. Now, later on, we'll be configuring incoming payment method. Okay. This incoming payment method right now we don't see here because the incoming payment methods you have to configure in the payment run for the country level. Then you have to maintain at the company code group level, at the company code level. Since we haven't configured it, that is not showing incoming payment. Incoming payment method may apply to payment run. Okay. Basically, there are two types of payment what you can process in FICA. One is the customer's initiative. Okay. This I think I explained while discussing the business partner. So customer initiative means if I provide invoice to customer, the account holder can go to the nearest cash desk counter and then make a payment either by cash or check or credit card, or they can go to the website of the company and then enter their service number, and then it will show what is the open item to be paid, and then they can either pay by net banking or credit card or any other thing like Paytm. Okay. So in all these cases, customer is taking initiative. If the customer doesn't go to cash desk or if the customer doesn't go to the website, the payment will not happen. Okay. That is customer initiative. Another is called payment run. Okay. In payment run, what happens? We maintain certain payment methods in the contract account. These payment methods are configured at the company code level and the country level. Okay. Like we have got biller direct as one payment method. One is the bank transfer. Okay. Of course, here biller direct you cannot use directly. Why? Because in order to use a biller direct, we have to use the SAP Financial Supply Chain Management. And based on that supply chain management, there will be one web application. Okay. So there what happens, the customer will log in into that web application, enter their credential, and then there will be field, enable the biller direct. And when you enable the biller direct, it will ask in which bank the debit has to happen. Okay. Then we enter that information and then save it. Automatically, it will activate biller direct in the contract account. Basically, what is biller direct? Biller direct means the invoice will be prepared, open item is posted, then you do a payment run. Okay. In the payment run, what happens? It will pick up all those accounts for which the direct debit is maintained. That means the open items information is selected from the contract account balance and then send a file to the bank. The bank has to make the payment directly by deducting the amount from the account holder. That means here customer is not coming to the picture. Customer has already nominated the bank. We prepare the open items, post the invoice to the account holder. Then in the account we maintain biller direct. Suppose if there are 20,000 biller direct invoices prepared today, open items, out of these 20,000, 5,000 accounts are having the deduction from the HDFC bank. Okay. Then we will create one file containing the information about the amounts which are to be collected from the bank, and then send the file to the bank directly by using a media. Particular media format will be agreed. Based on that, a file is transmitted electronically, or you can send the file as it is, and then they can upload in their system, deduct the amounts, and then send the payment information back to SAP. And then you enter the payment as payment lot. Okay. So biller direct. Bank transfer means we again send the information to the bank, then the bank will transfer the amount, or the customer will enable the bank to transfer the amount. That means bank will transfer the amount if the customer has activated automatic payment to be deducted, or bank will inform the customer, we have received an invoice, should you pay it? Then you clear the payment in the net banking and the amount will go to the company. In biller direct, normally used for the budget billing, because there we know the amount is fixed. That means every month you are expecting 7,000 rupees amount payment. So we authorize the bank, every month you're going to get an invoice of 7,000 rupees. That amount should be paid immediately from my account to the company. You don't have to verify with us. You can make the payment directly. Usually in bank transfer, what happens? The amount is variable. Like consumption billing, some month invoice may come to 8,000, some month it may come to 9,000. So the information will be sent to the bank. Actual bank has to payment, but the customer give clearance to the bank, and then the bank will make the payment. Okay, that's called bank transfer. Or bank transfer can also work in different methods. For example, we have given some authorization in the website. The amount has to be collected through the net banking. Okay, so net banking means that information you have to send it to the bank. Net banking means we are enabling the bank to make the payment to the utility company. Okay, but then we will send this information to the bank, and then it will check the net banking instruction given by the customer and make the payment. Okay, so these are various payment methods what we are using. So at the moment we don't have that incoming payment method configured. We will see how to do it in the future. Now you have to maintain the bank determining information. So we can copy the data about the bank from our business partner. Okay, so business partner, we maintain the bank details and they will be copied into the contract account. You can also maintain a outgoing payment method also, like a check. Okay, suppose there are sometimes open credit items like security deposit we have to refund, or customer has made some extra amount payment, we have to refund it. Okay, in that case the amount can be prepared as an outgoing check and then send it to the bank. Okay, so you can configure account outgoing payment method as check and give the bank details here. System will automatically send the outgoing payments directly to the bank account. Something like in companies, they make the salary to employee. Okay, so every month instead of giving check or depositing the cash directly in the account, instead of giving the check to the employee, what to do? We do the basically the HR, basically the salary run, and then once it is done, automatically it will find out what is the account of the employee and deposit the money directly in the credit account of the salary employee. Okay, so the payment is directly deposited into the account. It's an outgoing payment. Okay, so like this, incoming payment and outgoing payment you can enter. And then we go to dunning and correspondence. Here we are enter the dunning procedure. Right now we're using 01. Okay, now again we are coming back to general data. Here you can see there is a procedure, budget billing procedure. Okay, initially when you create the contract account, directly you cannot enter the budget billing procedure. Why? Because the budget billing procedures are determined based on the company code group. Okay, unless you enter the company code group, we do not know what are the allowed budget billing procedure. Okay, so first you have to enter the company code group in which the contract account can be posted. Then we can enter in the general data what is the budget billing procedure. So here you can see we have got 0, no budget billing, 1 statistical, 2 partial, 3 payment. So we are selecting here no budget billing and then save it. Okay. So we have created a contract account 5101. Okay. We can have one contract account compulsorily maintained, but if because of the accounting reason in ISU what happens, we can use the contract account to create a contract. Okay. Technically speaking, one contract account is good enough to create multiple contracts. Okay. I can use the account for creating electricity contract, water contract, gas contract. But between the contracts, if the data is going to differ, suppose dunning is going to change, the clearing category is going to change, or payment terms are changing, then we have to maintain as many contract accounts required as per the contract. So I can as well create one more contract account for the business partner. This time I can use the reference 5101 is the contract account I already created. I can refer it. So it is copying all the data. Now I can make any changes if required. The payment terms in this case is going to be, let's say 5,000, 5001. So that means for this account, we are permitting a payment which is going to be 30 days later, and budget billing procedure we will enter after we enter the company code group. Company code group is also copied, so I can as well enter here. This particular account is available for budget billing, that is partial budget billing. Okay. Like that, you can make the changes. Dunning, I can give a different dunning procedure here. Okay, let's say ZA. And then here, I can also change the clearing category. Okay, here using clearing category, ZA, like that. Okay. That means you can change from account to account the data. Accordingly, the account will behave. That means if one account is good enough for all the contracts, which means all the contracts have the same accounting requirements for the invoices, then there's no need to create any more than one account. But if the requirements for the account contracts are going to be different, then you would create as many contract account. You can also assign the contract account to more than one business partner. How to do it? I'll show you. Then in future, we will again work on some of the other fields. What are these fields? We have not discussed them, like debitor BB required, and then some locks will be there here. Okay, number of outsorting, when you do the outsorting. Okay, because these are some of the business process oriented data. That's why I'm not explained now. We will see that also in the information in the future. Okay, so as of now, we are able to create a regular contract account with which we are able to post the incoming invoice. We are able to post the invoices and also go for clearing in the future. Okay, that's the basic purpose we have seen. So
Sir,
we have created the contract account. Yeah.
uh,
Anything
sir,
else? Yeah.
yes, sir. For example, sir, BP is coming from any other system, sir. For
Uh-huh.
example, here BP is created in CRM. So when it
Okay.
will flow, a contract account is automatically created in our CI and the CC.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Yes.
so, so how it is done, sir? There is some
Uh,
automatic setting or what?
no,
Copy
basically
control.
what you're saying, you are creating business partner in CRM system, right?
And that is flowing to sir, FICA, CI and FICA, sir.
Yeah, okay,
So,
CI and figure. Once the business partner comes, then we create a contract account in CI. Correct, no? For BP.
yes, yes, sir. But for that, some configuration setting must be done, na, sir. Automatically against a particular big contract will be created, or contract is created in CRM that flows to downstream.
No, no. Yes, you see here in ISU, what happens, I'll tell you. Now, business partner we have to create. Suppose, for example, let us assume we are using a CRM system like a CIC, okay? Customer
Okay, sir.
Interaction Center, okay?
Yes, sir.
In Customer Interaction Center, they will create a BP, but they are not allowed to create any contract account. That means
Yes.
first they create a BP, that BP information will come to the SAP system, okay? But now, how will now BP is also created automatically in the system itself. That means once the data will come, whatever business partner you're creating in CRM, it will be duplicated in SAP ISU also, okay?
Okay.
But then how will the FICA will come to know they have to create a contract account? Usually what they do, they set up a workflow. Workflow means the moment a BP is posted into system, it will generate an internal workflow. A kind of email will go to the financial accounting department saying that a new business partner has been created. And for that business partner, you have to create a contract account. Because contract account is not created directly. It cannot be created directly in the background. Then the person will refer to the business partner and then create a contract account. Then this contract account what to create, they will send you the information back to CRM system. Okay. For this BP, what you have given, you have done the contract account, and that contract account information will go back to CRM system. Then from CRM system, they can also do the move-in process. That means that business partner is going to enter into so and so premise. A move-in document is prepared using the contract account and the premise data and installation data. Then the contract is created in CRM system, and that contract will be created in SAP ISU. That means the CRM system can create a BP and a contract, but the contract account has to be created in SAP system, and that information should go to CRM system.
Yes.
That's the flow.
Okay, so
So,
okay.
so like in your case also probably what I think, BP you will create from CRM, it will create in SAP system. Then you have to create a contract account using the CI system, and then that can be sent to again CRM system. Then the contract creation can happen from CRM using the contract account, and then contract will be created in SAP system in the CI system. Probably that is a flow.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Are
Yes.
you following?
Actually, I
Are
was
you following?
yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah, I was trying to understand. So there is, for example, sir, from lead to opportunity is being created here. There is a copy control setting through which
Uh-huh.
subsequent documents are. So
Yeah, yeah.
there is some configurations in this also, sir.
Uh-huh. No, I'll do
If you
one
any
thing. I will, even though don't have system, I'll
okay,
try to study the convergent system. I'll
okay,
try to find out some document. So in
okay,
future, whenever discussions happen, I can refer to that and clarify. Today, I will try to access some documents for the convergent invoicing, and then
yes,
I'll give the input for that, how it is happening, so that you can look after
okay.
that.
Thank you,
I'll
sir.
do that. Sure. So today's discussion, you understood, no? What we have done?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So tomorrow we'll start the new topic.
yes, sir.
So you received all the videos, right?
Ah,
All the
yes,
videos.
sir. I am
Oh,
going through that, sir.
okay. Okay.
That is,
Okay then. Good day. Tomorrow we'll see.
yeah, thanks, sir.
Bye. Yeah, good day. Bye.